So last time I gave a quick rundown of some of the different curing methods that you can use for your olives, including lye curing, brining, and fermentation. That's not all of them. There's more. You can dry them with salt, preserve them in oil. If you want to get really wild, this book covers how to cure them in their natural state, which just means putting them dry in a jar for several months. And apparently, they turn green, and then you open the jar and they turn black. Crazy. Anyway, if you're interested in this book, which I use quite often for some old-timey methods of preserving food, I'll put the link in the description. And so give it a whirl and show me a video because I want to see these color-changing olives. I went with fermentation for my olives because I'm kind of a health nut type person and also supremely lazy. My directions are a bit fly by the seat of your pants. If you want more accurate or detailed instructions, check out Art of Fermentation by Sandra Katz. I don't have that book, but I understand olives are covered in it. And also, if you're just getting into fermentation, definitely fermentation, classic, same author. Olives aren't covered in it, but it's a good introduction to the process. And I'll also put a link to that in the description. Disclaimer time, I'm not an expert. I've just done this a few times. If anything doesn't look right to you, smells funky, freaks you out, toss it in trash. Don't risk it for good olives. Go buy some. And with that, let's ferment some olives.
Reese and I got a pretty good haul yesterday. I have about 4 quarts total between the fully ripe and the green and semi-ripe ones. I have them separated because the fully ripe ones will probably not take as long to get ready as the green and semi-ripe or blush color ones. Eventually I'll put them together once they're done fermenting. That's how I'm going to process them. Reese is going to lye cure hers, which is probably the smart way. It's super fast and very little labor, but I'm going to do it the hard way because that's how I operate, and I am going to ferment mine. The first step is giving them a good wash. Got my olives all cleaned and picked over and divvied up, and I put them in these glass containers. And now I need to make a brine so we can start the fermentation. The brine I'm making is a tablespoon of salt for every quart of water. And I'm just heating it up to melt the salt and then letting it cool off because we don't want it so hot that it kills the bacteria on these olives. Notice when I washed them I didn't use any soap or very hot water. The purpose was just to rinse off the dust, not to sanitize them. I'll probably add a little squeeze of acid in this water too. Lemon would be ideal, but I think I have lime. So again, just to adjust the pH to encourage the good bugs and keep the bad bugs away. And there we have them. It turns out 4 quarts of olives took 2 quarts of brine. And I've got them in the jars and my fancy weights. And I'm just going to leave them on the counter and see what happens. Here we are a week in, and it is doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing, which is bubbling away down there. That is the bacteria breaking down those bitter compounds. And part of the process is tooting out this gas right now. So that's how it's supposed to look right now. Options, we'll leave it as is. Scrape off the foamy bits. or change the brine, being sure not to rinse the olives because we want that colony to go with it into the next round. I am going to do B, which is just kind of scoop off this foam and let it go in the same brine a little bit longer. And bonus, I have one caper berry from the garden, and it seems dumb to give it its own brine, so I'm going to stick it in with probably this one and let it get good and tasty too. I'm going to let it go probably for another week and then check back and see what's going on. And there they are, all cleaned up, and I also gave them a good stir just to supply a little more oxygen in there. And I also just added a couple more drops of lemon just to keep the pH where we want it to be. And I'm gonna put the weights back in and let them simmer. So here we are, October 16th, about 2.5 weeks after we started the olives. And today I am going to do a taste test and change the liquids. So I took the weights out, our fancy weights there, and here's how they look now. And you see there's some foam up there, that's from the fermentation, and it may even include mold. But it doesn't really bother me as long as it's on just the jar or the surface of the water and not on the olives themselves. It doesn't bother me. If it freaks you out and you're worried, by all means dump them out and don't go any further. That is okay. You do what's comfortable for you. But I have been okay so far with this, and knock on wood, and so I'm going to continue forward with this process. Alright, so I took the olives out of that load there and I just dumped them. I strained them, did not wash them. Don't wash them because you want to keep that helpful bacteria with them. But I did thoroughly scrub the weights and the jars with very hot water and soap. You could even use a little bit of bleach if you wanted to. You want them nice and clean. Keep these as they are. These really clean. I also took out our testers here, one each of a green and a black olive. And I can tell already looking at the green olive, see how it's really fibrous looking, and this is probably going to be an uncomfortable experience eating this. The black one, pretty soft. That's gonna be okay. And then there's our little caper berries. One was ready to stick in earlier than these two. These are only a few days in the brine. This one has been in there almost the whole time, and I think that might even actually be ready. But let's give these a taste. Here's the green one. Wish me luck. Not too bad right at the beginning, but then that bitterness kicks in. At this stage, they're edible, but not ready yet. And let's see, here's the black olive. Interesting. This one's really bitter right from the get-go. That is opposite of what I expected. This one has a little ways to go yet, a lot. Interesting. And just for kicks, I'm gonna try this caper berry too. That's good. Yeah, that's ready. I would totally put this in something a little saltier. But texture-wise, perfect. Let's see, yeah. All right, these guys are all back in their homes. And it's also a good time to check if there are any mushy ones or any that are looking gross. You can discard them at this point. And then I have a fresh batch of our liquid here. You'll notice definitely something's different. Now I have some flavoring agents added. Rosemary, some lemon zest, some chili peppers, some dried chili peppers from the garden, and some garlic cloves, which are way down there in the bottom. Same ratio, I put in a tablespoon of salt per liter of water. So a very, very, very weak brine. And also squeezed half a lemon in here too to adjust the pH. And there they are, back in their homes. With their good flavoring things in there. I had to use a skewer to kind of shove those down the sides so they look all pretty. If you were smart, you'd probably just put them in, add more olives, put more things in, add more olives, but I did it after the fact and it was really no big deal. So I just need to put these guys up again. So it could be weeks or even months before they are finally done. I put them in the bar where they can just hang tight, nice even temperature in the dark. And you know, it might be Christmas time before they're ready, so I am gonna stop this video here and just let you know that just keep testing, tasting, changing the water periodically, and the final version I'll probably put a lot more salt to slow down the fermentation process and also just really boost up the flavor. And then they are ready to go. Enjoy.